Ho, ho, ho. It's that time of year again. And frankly, I gotta tell you, I don't care what holiday you celebrate, you're probably gonna have a holiday dinner at some point. So, let's talk about how to keep peace at the holiday dinner table. Hey, I'm Ann. Y'all ready to chat? We're gonna get right to it with 5 tips on how to keep the peace. The first tip is, don't light the match. Think about it this way. A holiday dinner is like putting kindling in the fireplace. As long as you don't light it, nothing happens. So you take the first step and don't go to the holiday dinner with a chip on your shoulder. If you know Aunt Louise has a daughter that's having some problems right now, don't bring it up unless she does. Just don't bring it up. And if you know climate change is a hot button, no pun intended there, with your family, avoid that conversation. The dinner table is not a place for debate. It's a place of sharing and enjoying a good dinner. So don't light the kindling. Instead, be ready with a bucket of water in case somebody else does. Number 2, don't take the bait. If Aunt Catherine tends to be right-wing and starts talking politics, when she knows darn well you have different beliefs, don't get into an argument with her. Instead, try to change the subject. You can do this by saying, Aunt Catherine, that's really interesting. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I saw the Nutcracker the other night? Or, Aunt Catherine, this dessert is delicious. Do you mind telling me the recipe? Say anything. Or ask someone else a question. Just do anything to steer the conversation away from politics. If she's baiting someone else, then say, both of you have interesting points. Why don't you agree to disagree? Then steer the conversation away from what they're talking about. Number 3, act like an anthropologist. This is an interesting one because if you have seniors sitting at the dinner table, grandma and grandpa, ask them questions. Ask them questions about how they grew up and what they did with Christmases past. I'm sure the young ones at the table would love to hear the old stories. But if you don't have seniors sitting at your table, you take the lead. Talk about growing up, what you did at Christmas time. Talk about how your parents had all the gifts out in the morning and you weren't allowed to open them until you had breakfast. That was in my house anyway. We got to open our stockings, but not our gifts. So talk about these things. Your kids might want to talk about some of the Christmases they had that they really enjoyed and their favorite gifts. Be an anthropologist. Number 4, forget spontaneity. Plan ahead what you're going to talk about. And I'm not saying have a list of ideas to steer the conversation to, but kind of think in your head, if one person's starting to talk about politics or religion, know that this other person likes to go bike riding and switch the conversation to that. Know your guests. So if you know somebody will probably talk about something controversial, if you have enough information about everyone at the dinner table, you can switch to another person and hear what interests them. By anticipating hot buttons, you can definitely diffuse situations before they start. Remember, don't let that kindling get on fire. And number 5, start the dinner early. If you're serving alcohol, make sure that when everyone gets to the house, you eat dinner. Don't let them sit around for 2 hours drinking. Get them to the dinner table before they have a chance to imbibe a little too much. And try to limit how much wine or champagne, whatever you serve, you have at dinner. Most arguments start off because somebody has imbibed too much and gets a little aggressive or antagonistic. You can limit arguments by serving dinner quickly, not serving too much wine, or frankly, having a dry holiday dinner. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up or share the joy. It's the holiday season, and share the video with somebody else. And if you could, write in the comments below what you do to keep the peace during a holiday dinner. Happy holidays to everybody, and thanks for the chat. I'll see you next time.